So guys, I finished Dune this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
I like how that's somehow incorporated into Star Trek.
Welcome to another linear radio podcast, by the way.
Of ADHD.
We're gonna talk about
sci-fi.
some gay ass shit.
Anyway,
So I finished Dune this afternoon, and it's definitely a book that I would suggest to anybody who likes sci-fi.
thrilling, enthralling, Brady. Check it. Done. We're done here. Rodrigo in the podcast. Anyway, so
We don't have an outro.
just make the screen cut to black.
Alright.
The sound is still gonna be going, so you can still hear the, like, not the hiss, but just that, like, the buzz of the
Yeah,
speakers.
the white noise.
Now, you were saying something earlier about how in Dune, like, things aren't explained, but they're explained, like, in, like, the footnotes of the
Right.
book, kind of. What the hell does that mean?
Dune has footnotes?
Yeah,
Wow.
like it
House
has
of
about
Leaf says-
50 pages of footnotes and like further appendices and glossaries. But it's hard sci-fi, so not everything is explained right off the bat, like within the story. Like a lot of books and different stories give context clues.
Oh, right, because it's a whole series, right?
Right.
So you finished the series.
I just finished the first book.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to read at least the next book, because I really liked the first one. But there were a few words that I had to look up in the course of my read, so that's what I was talking about earlier.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, literal things that were happening in the, like, story that were, like, there was no explanation behind it, but there's kind of hard science behind it, but it explained why things happened. Here's what I
Kind of,
Okay, so
but-
how does it's hard science? How does it explain the giant worms? Because there's worms in there, right?
Right.
Isn't there magic, too? Like, I thought it was kind of a sci-fi fantasy hybrid.
It kind of is.
So is the magic hard science?
No.
Well, then.
It's like less magic and more mysticism, actually. It's not like Harry Potter, but it's
What's mysticism? Because
yeah, I
Rodrigo has a very puzzled look, and I'm not sure what that means either.
there's a lot of religion, and it's like passive magic. I'm trying to think of how to explain
Yeah.
it.
Is it deities channeling powers through people, something like that?
No, it's more of people almost I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, thanks for reading the book, Brady. You learned nothing from it. I only remember, like, the miniseries and my parents always being like, worm signs. Like, that was a thing, worm signs. We're a
Worm
big
signs,
part
yeah.
of that, yeah. I remember in the movie, or, like, I don't know if it was a movie or miniseries or whatever, like, the guy's, like, yelling into what looks like a spoon. But keep in mind, I was very young, so this could have been easily a microphone, and I just didn't understand what I was watching.
It could have been a shitty prop, like in Animorphs, where they had flashlights for the weapons.
Is that right?
That's what I was told. I'm pretty sure. I haven't actually watched the series myself, so.
Wow.
Oh no, I watched the first episode and I couldn't handle it.
I remember that in Stargate SG-1 they did a, like, parody of themselves because somebody was writing a show that
Oh, yeah.
was like Stargate.
Wormhole
And
Extreme.
And they were talking
It's like
about
a porno.
like they're talking about they're talking about how, like, all of a sudden the bodies are gone in the next shot and the continuity error.
Yeah.
And, like, he's like talking about basically they made up the Zats. Or how is that what you call
Oh,
it?
the third shot Zat?
Yeah.
The Zat third shot?
That would just, like, disintegrate the bodies. And they're like, the one guy looks at this gun and he's like, what color is the laser? Because I could see where he was going with that, and he was like, oh, a different laser disintegrates people or whatever. And he's like, there's no laser, it's just lights and sound effects. And I was like, that's like Andromeda! And they just totally explained, like, why that is. Because it's cheaper just to make, like, the weapon, like, have a flash at the tip and then a flash at the hit, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the stick thingy?
Well,
in Andromeda?
all the weapons in Andromeda just like flashed from the muzzle, and then the target or wherever the hit landed would explode. Had a hit from it.
Well, it's because it was I think the flash was just like the muzzle flash, and then
But there was like it was still like a beam weapon.
no, they were all railguns.
Then they had
railgun
so much ammo, or was it kind of like the Mass Effect weapons?
I think so, because like the Mass Effect weapons shave little bits off like you have like an ammo block, and the gun automatically shaves ammunition off of the block.
Yep. It's the fucking coolest thing.
Yeah,
I think Andromeda does
when
the
I
same
first read
thing.
about that.
I don't remember if it's coil. I think it's coil and not railgun.
What's the
But
difference?
a railgun actually, it's like a pair of magnetic rails, and the projectile sits on it, so it builds up friction. A coil gun is like magnetic rings. But it's the same concept, just
It's still linear injection.
linear.
Radio.
Linear. It's not injection. It's what's it called?
Well,
Linear induction. That's
Passive
it.
that's
magic.
what it is.
Yeah, linear
Well,
induction.
Maybe that's the word I'm always trying to use when I say injection.
Possibly.
Possibly.
But yeah, no, they both work off the same concept, but just one railgun, the projectile contacts, and in the coil gun, it just hovers in the middle of the coil.
Okay.
But in Andromeda, they were one of the two, and that's why you didn't see that. That's probably their way around it.
Is there multiple Doom series written by different people?
No, I think there's only. I think that there's one Doom
Is it Frank
series.
Herbert?
And yeah, Frank Herbert
Okay.
wrote several of them.
Because like on Sci-Fi Channel, whenever they had the miniseries, they said Frank Herbert's Dune. And I was like, is there another Dune that I could be confusing that with? Is that why you're saying it?
No.
They do that with Andromeda.
What?
Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda.
I wonder how much Gene Roddenberry actually had to do with that, considering that show came out long after he was dead.
It was a posthumous show, but he wrote it. He wrote the whole show. It was like in his backed up works. Same as Earth Final Conflict. Or no, Roddenberry was dead.
Man,
when
Earth Final Conflict was like, I don't know how I feel about Earth Final Conflict.
Go back and watch it. It's aged
It's
a lot,
yeah.
but
Like
it's,
Babylon 5.
yeah. Oh God, Babylon.
Bronco Sideways off the Henny, he's always telling me that I need to go watch Babylon 5, and I'm like, I don't think I do. I don't think I need to watch that. I think, like, one of the competing shows at that time was Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine, and I definitely watched Deep Space Nine. That's what I watched.
They were both very, very political oriented shows.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, territorial issues going on in that.
Yeah.
It's weird that this is like what we watch for fun, and it's like oh, this is just real life, only not.
Yeah, actually.
I remember on Deep Space Nine, whenever there was a space battle at Deep Space Nine, and how weaponized the space station is.
Yeah.
I was like, this is insane. Like it's like a fleet had to take on Deep Space Nine, and I don't think they won.
Well, wasn't Deep Space Nine captured from the Cardassians, or was it Bajoran?
It's a Bajoran station.
Yeah, it's
But
a
it was-
Bajoran.
It was meant as a military installation, wasn't it?
I don't remember, but
I think I could be wrong,
but I think they had to fight off a Klingon attack. They had
Yeah.
to fight off a Cardassian attack or Dominion, whichever.
And a Kardashian attack.
Oh.
God,
But
it was the Kardashian attack was easily thwarted.
um.
I just remember during the Klingon one, they were just beaming Klingons in seemingly at random and having like really weird firefights where it's like one target would take out one target and then like so on and so forth in that fashion. It was very like not like a beam off squad in.
Yeah.
It was really weird. There's bodies everywhere.
Star Trek was never really known for its good gunfights.
Yeah.
Like I never understood the phaser thing, like the fact that the thumb is the trigger.
Yeah,
finger.
and there's no aiming really.
Yeah, there is none whatsoever, and you
I
press
think
it with
they-
the thumb that like shifts the grip.
I think the phaser is more of a tool than anything.
Like the lightsaber.
Yeah,
How is it like a lightsaber?
because a lightsaber is a tool.
I guess.
Well, the lightsaber was originally like it was meant as a weapon. That was like a ceremonial weapon, wasn't it?
Yeah, but,
But the phaser may have originated from. Oh no, because the phasers in Enterprise were phase pistols, and then they got phasers. They started out with the pulse thingies, and then they went to the beams.
yeah, I don't know. I know that the handheld phasers, could be equipped as a rifle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Pretty
the
cool.
reason it was so unwieldy is because you didn't really use it as much.
Yeah, but it's still like it doesn't make sense to go from like the original series design, which was a pistol, with like a standard pistol grip where you hold it level. Yeah, where you hold it as like a standard pistol
Yeah.
versus like the phaser where you have to hold it with your like wrist cocked forward and no aim, no sight whatsoever, and you press the trigger with your thumb,
Yeah.
which moves the phaser down as you press it. I don't know. Silly. Well, shit. Geekcast for sure.
Yeah, this is some hard science geeking we're doing.
Oh man, don't even get me started on my hard science.
What was up with the Dominion and they were like addicted to some kind of drug?
I don't know about
The
that.
spice is life.
Is that what it was called?
That's
I think it's
that's
called-
a drug in
It
Star
was
Wars.
it was called
No, that's the drug in Dune.
wasn't the spice
Motherfucker.
wasn't the spice in Dune also having to do with bending space?
Yeah, I mean, like, we're the like passive magic that I was talking about. The
Drug
spice is a drug that like allows you to see backwards and forwards in time. If you're like, if you've been trained all of your life by the Bene Gesserit, and you're a guy and you're the Kwisatz Haderach.
Whoa. This is some next level
Okay.
shit we're talking about.
Basically, all the stars had to align for like 900 years, and
Excuse me?
yeah, don't worry about it. It wouldn't make any sense unless you read it.
I'm like, that's physically impossible, but okay.
The spice is life.
Would it make sense
But
if I read it?
but no, the Dominion,
Yes, it would definitely make sense
the
if you read it.
Dominion was like whoever like the main foot soldiers were in the Dominion were addicted to a drug called chloroform white or something like that. It was something white, and
That's racist.
God, Tom, I can't
is
believe
it?
you.
Is it? So yeah, and like if they didn't have it, they die.
Huh.
It was kind of like a Jaffa thing
Oh yeah.
with the symbiotes and
Yeah,
whatnot.
symbiote and Tritonin.
You know what we're talking about, Brady?
Nope.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you're not big into Stargate, are you?
Nope.
You should. It's really good.
Extremely good. Except
That's
Universe.
what the Mormons told
Sorry,
me about.
Dad.
I
the
would
Mormons.
watch. I kind of want to finish Universe.
You can't because they
Well, they
just
didn't.
stopped it on a
Well,
cliffhanger.
fuck me.
It wasn't good. Like, just don't watch it. It's not good.
I wanted to know what the structure of the universe was about because that was like a point in it. It was talking about how the universe has some kind of structure to it.
They never got around to it. They didn't really get anywhere because it was friggin' Battlestar Voyager.
It was. Oh my god, that's so good.
It was the plot of Voyager with the camera angles and grittiness of Battlestar Galactica. It's trying to be something that Stargate isn't, and that's what killed it.
And also wrestling killed it.
Oh yeah, wrestling. That too. God, did you hear about that, Brady?
Mm-mm.
Sci-Fi. The CEO of Sci-Fi Channel, like it like changed hands, I think. Or
Yeah, something like that. They had a new like CEO.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And he.
It's owned by Universal, right? So and USA has
Oh.
wrestling.
Hmm.
So they made their own wrestling thing, and they decided to go with more wrestling, less science.
Pretty much like half
On
of
Sci-Fi?
Sci-Fi. Yeah, Sci-Fi.
What was it called? ECW?
Yeah, ECW
There was wrestling on Sci-Fi. No fucking joke.
Yeah.
Fucking wrestlers that like you've never heard of. New franchise of wrestling happened.
Their highest rated show, Stargate SG-1, which was like set for I don't know how many more seasons by the time when it got canceled.
Uh-huh.
They canceled it, like they announced the cancellation in like mid season 11, and they had to like film it and wrap it up real quick, and it kind of had a shitty ending because of that. Well, that's debatable, but I wasn't entirely satisfied with it
Mm-hmm.
because they were ready to go on with it. Their highest rated show by far, and they canceled it to put wrestling in its block. On
they,
Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
Wow.
they didn't move it. They didn't move it. They canceled it. Took the budget. Fuck.
Along with most of their other high-rated stuff. Like I don't remember what else was on there at the time, but there were a couple other shows that actually had like
I
good
don't know.
ratings.
Yeah, now they tried to make a comeback with Warehouse 13, which I don't particularly like. Eureka's pretty good, but it's not
Why would you put wrestling on Sci-Fi?
Exactly.
because they thought that lots of white trash watch sci-fi, and that's not true.
It was
White trash watches USA between the hours of like 7 and 9 or something, and like because it's funny because USA has really good shows too.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what your tastes are. I mean, I like Psych. It's not.
Oh, Psych is good, yeah.
It's not like, you know.
I've seen a couple episodes.
It's not. It's not fucking intellectually great or anything, but I mean, it's fun.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to like. It is what it is, and if you like that, that's what it is for you. And other things are like that on USA. So, but they didn't get like I think it was some new CEO that had big ideas. And he's like, I know what to make money, and he just failed.
Or maybe he got paid off pretty big.
Could
He
be.
probably got paid off massively to do that.
And then whoever paid him off just lost money because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have wrestling now, do they?
No, ECW didn't last very long at all. It lasted about as long as like a shittily rated show can last. One, maybe 2 seasons.
I can't believe that I wanted to have a whole podcast dedicated to this, but there's a show called Being Human that they put on there. Let me tell you about Being. I take it that neither one of you know what Being Human is, right?
No.
You may have told me
I may have
about
told you about this, yeah. So Being Human is a show about a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost that live together in an apartment.
Oh yeah, you told
That's
me
on
about this.
BBC, I thought.
That is a different show, but it's the same show. Being Human on Sci-Fi in the U.S. is another show. It's like as if you were to take Doctor Who and make it a guy from New York or New Yorkers or whoever, you know, from the United States doing it, but it's the same show. But it's a different, like, everything about it's different.
It's like U.S. Skins or U.S. Top Gear, right?
Not really.
Oh, is it a different plot too?
It's the same plot, different characters. They just live in the United States. It's like what they did with Wreck. In like the original Wreck was a Spanish movie. I'm not sure which country it was from.
Wreck?
Yeah,
I don't.
the original Wreck was a Latin American or Spanish movie
Right.
that took place in another city, somewhere in another country. And when they got quarantined, it's literally the same plot. They just rewrote some things, put American actors in it, and it is the same movie, but it's not as good because they didn't execute it as well. And like they
Right.
have all these like Americanisms in it, and it's basically that's what Being Human is. They recast everybody. It's the same story, same premise, Americans in it, and it's like, man, you don't think this is the 21st century? What makes you think people don't know what in another English-speaking country that there's a show that's the same? And
Especially when it's a highly rated show.
is it a highly rated show?
I thought so.
It might be in Britain. It might well be. I
'Cause it's
bet.
a
I
good
guarantee
show.
you they did it better. But in like,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think it's canceled now. The guy that played the vampire, I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head, but he's a really good actor. It just the execution was bad, and it was just trying to be something else. Trying to be something new off of something that already exists, and it couldn't happen. The guy that was the vampire is also Star Killer in the Star Wars games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was also going to be in The Walking Dead, and that didn't fucking happen. Because of that's a whole other episode, so we won't get into The Walking Dead right now. But yeah.
Wow.
I think the Being Human canceled. I don't know how many seasons it got, maybe 2, maybe more, but I mean, it only after the post ECW thing the only thing that was really good that I ever watched was Eureka.
Did Farscape survive?
Farscape actually ended on like an actual note.
Oh.
It did kind of what Serenity or what Firefly did, but actually did it. It had its series run, and then they're like, "How are we gonna finish this?" So then when I finish this miniseries, I finished it in miniseries. It was great. It was. We could probably have a whole other show just talking about Farscape, but
My dad would love
it really didn't end on a bad note, and you're like, you felt like you watched it, and like I did. That was something like last year that I'd finished it before, but not in like an actual viewing pace, because it was like, season breaks would happen and shit. So of course I would come back to it in like the wrong times, and then I actually dedicated time to sitting down and watching it all the way through, and then watching the miniseries, which.
Cool.
It's on Netflix, but the miniseries is not, so you kind of have to look around for a place to watch the miniseries.
Gotcha.
You know what I noticed about a lot of these shows?
What's that?
They are not shot in the United States, and the production companies are not. Like the
They're
good
Canadian.
ones. The good ones, they're Canadian and Australian.
Yeah,
Farscape was Australian, I believe.
X-Files was Canadian.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica, mostly Canadian.
Yeah.
Stargate, all the Stargate's Canadian.
Really? I didn't know
Well,
that.
I mean,
but that
it was
makes
shot in Vancouver.
Oh
and they're
yeah,
all Canadian
all
actors.
of the scenery in Stargate makes a lot of sense. That's Canada.
Andromeda.
Oh,
Andromeda's
isn't Kevin Sorbo Canadian?
Kevin Sorbo's Canadian. Michael Shanks is Canadian. No, Michael Shanks might be American, but Dick Dean is definitely. Richard Dean Anderson, he's Canadian. He's from Vancouver.
I'm sure Rainbow Sun Franks or whatever his name is Canadian.
Wait, which one was he?
He's in Atlantis, and he was like that guy that like got like the Wraith venom injected into him, and he was all fucked up for a while. I don't actually know what happened to him. I haven't like gotten through Atlantis the whole way yet, but
Yeah, dude, Canada. That's where all the good ones come
yeah,
from.
and that was something that when I was at PopCon and we saw Candice McClure, she was talking about that because she's Canadian. Well, she's not Canadian. I think
thought
she has
was
some
South African.
She's South African, but I think she has dual citizenship in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So she was talking about that and going from South Africa to Canada and like living in both countries at the same time to shoot whatever, and she'd like go home for a break in South Africa and stuff. But I can't. I think maybe Eureka is actually an American production.
I think Star Trek is American. All the Star Treks I'm pretty sure are filmed in the United States.
That might be why they're so uptight.
Maybe.
That was my main issue with the Next Generation. Is the Next Generation was very uptight, very
Adventure-y?
non-adventure-y, non-organic. It was
Yeah.
like an office building floating through space.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the Enterprise was. I mean, the Enterprise was basically a city. It had its own school and everything.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah. Well, it was.
It
was a
wasn't
different
like
idea.
it wasn't like the original Star Trek where it was like an exploratory spacecraft that was like kind of a cruiser, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was still like a flagship, but it was like a, an all-purpose ship. Like we got the science, we got the weapons, we got the defense, we got the food. they did diplomatic missions.
Yeah.
Everything went well. And like, here comes the Next Generation. And I mean, Next Generation was good. Don't get me wrong, but it had a very deal with it. That I didn't.
Diplomatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like Voyager more. And man, people talk so much shit about
And
Voyager.
I think that's just because they're sexist assholes.
Well, maybe they did. I think people that grew up with Voyager are the ones like me are the ones that are most attached to it. Because I was growing up, I was like a child and was around like early teens when it finished. So,
I grew up with all of it
Yeah.
because my parents watched it. So
Same
I
here.
watched Star Trek, Next Generation, and Voyager all my childhood.
Well,
Yeah,
Star
same.
Trek, you were probably watching. Next Generation, you were probably watching reruns.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it started in '89.
yeah, I mean I did, but like I actually kind of got to
Yeah.
see it the way that you would watch it because like my dad had them all on VHS tapes and stuff. And
Stargate, I watched from the premiere. I was
me too, I did too.
6, I think, when that
I
came
was
out,
like,
7.
oh my god, and like I mean you look back now, and like action wasn't that great, but like I was like, oh this is so good,
Mhm.
like MacGyver's all like talking Teal'c into
Rebelling.
into like He's like, you can do something about this. Like, you can save these people. And he's just like so moved by his like speech. He just turns around and starts blasting the other Jafals. You're like, holy shit.
Many
Yeah.
have said that.
I
You were
remember
the
that.
first I believe that can ever say that. That quote just rocked me. I loved it. Loved Teal'c ever since. But yeah, man, Voyager. Okay, it was a different feel, and it was almost too. I think the main complaint is that it's kind of too out there, too techno-babbly, and too kind of ridiculous. I think was.
Yeah, the
idea.
thing that I remember is like, hey, how come you never use that skeletal lock anymore? That skeletal lock worked really well that one time. Never used it again.
Wait, skeletal lock?
Yeah, remember with the first time they encountered Species 8472 or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
And they couldn't beam them off the ship because it's like a living ship. And B'Elanna's like, I know, I'll try a skeletal lock to try to get their lock onto their bones and just get that because it's different from the rest of the ship.
I thought they didn't have bones.
No, the crew, the way team that was on the ship.
Okay, yeah.
And it worked, and Janeway's like, have to put that one in the books. Never fucking put it in the books. Never fucking use it again because there's so many other scenarios where we can't beam them up for some whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you should try that skeletal lock like that one time.
There were a lot of holes in that. Eventually, I found myself coming up with solutions to their problems before the episode would end. I'd be like, okay, this is what you gotta do. You gotta reverse the polarity on the doodad. And
You remember the time they were stuck on a planet without any technology? That was really good.
No, I'm thinking the holodeck one where
It
they're
was-
trapped in the holodeck.
What is there? That alien race they met that they didn't like them and shit. That's the first alien.
Which one?
That first alien race they came in contact with.
Oh, the Kazon?
Yeah, Kazon marooned them on an alien planet
I
And
have
stole-
a vague idea of it.
and hijacked Voyager. And then the maniac guy and the doctor were the only ones left on Voyager, and the maniac guy just phasering Curzons after a certain point and just killing everybody. And he works so well to not be a murderer, and he's murdering people, and he's just taking them out. And he killed. I think he killed everybody, every Curzon on Voyager, and retook the ship. And then this one Curzon's and blasted him in the back as he's about to hit the button to re-engage the system to go back to the planet that everyone was on. So it was his last effort was to do that, and got redemption.
The crazy guy?
Yeah. Did you watch Voyager very much?
No.
Well,
Yes, I guess you're out of the loop.
there's
on this.
basically on Voyager, since they're marooned across the galaxy, they're their own. They're alone, so they couldn't do anything about what happens when someone snapped and murdered somebody. And he was he was kind of a psychopath, but he had always had issues, and it finally broke and he murdered somebody, and then so he gets in trouble. So basically, they're like, what do we do with him? Well, he just he was just a prisoner, you know what I mean, the whole rest of the trip. And then he was working on rehabilitation with Tuvok, the Vulcan, and stuff to be better and try to not have these tendencies. And then all of a sudden he's the only person left on the ship, and he has to retake the ship, and he has to kill all these people. So it was a internal conflict. It was really good. And then he had his moment of redemption when he manages to save everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of that show was the development of the Doctor, I think. That was a
Yeah,
huge
I
part of
really
it.
like the Doctor.
And that's one thing that everyone is okay with is the Doctor, because he was kind of the Data of that series. We were talking about how Brady earlier was saying that Data was the most human person.
Yeah,
character.
but imagine the Doctor is basically a human with complete limitations. It's imagine that you are a person, but you just can't go outside of this room. You can't live as a person.
Sick bay.
Yeah, you have the feelings and all of the things that people do, but you're just not a person. That was a really interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
So it was a nice spin on the Data thing. It didn't feel like they were just ripping off that idea.
Yeah, and the Doctor kind of has when he gets his freedom with the mobile emitter, he kind of has to figure out how to live as a crew member and how to fit in where he fits in, because he's super eccentric too.
He is. He
Obnoxious
is.
Yeah.
as shit.
I remember the
them.
Doctor shows up on DS9, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like he was a standard program,
Right.
and then like there was an episode where the Doctor wrote like literature and stuff, and they started getting communications from like our quadrant,
Mhm.
and all of the Doctor holograms were made to be like garbage scow workers and shit, and like it was all this whole weird thing about holographic rights and like self-aware holograms
Mhm.
and stuff. So like the Doctor's work couldn't be published. Exactly, like he like lost the rights to his own work or something. I don't know exactly how that worked, but then at the end of the episode, it shows all these doctors. Well, they're not doctors, but they're like his archetype hologram,
Mhm.
and they're like on this garbage scow, and this one's like, "Dude, you gotta check this out." Like, so one of us wrote this. It's like it's real shit, and like it's like it's happening anyway. Like, so it was like, "Oh yeah, it's so cool."
I'll have to check out Voyager.
They also kind of had like another data thing going on with 7 of 9.
Oh, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 developing as a human after being reassimilated. If anyone listening doesn't know, 7 of 9 was a Borg who was separated from the collective and basically turned almost human again.
Yeah, I mean, she just basically had some cybernetic parts to her.
Yeah,
Like her eye had to be, it was like fake. I remember that because she didn't have an eye anymore.
No, she had the real eye. They just couldn't separate the implant from her eye without destroying it completely.
Okay.
So in order to have binocular vision, she had to keep that implant on. And there was like the one in her hand that had the nanoprobe injectors.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get rid of that for some silly reason.
It might have messed
Plot device.
It might have messed with her nervous system in that hand or something, so she couldn't have the mobility.
It was because they would have needed the nanobots in later episodes.
Oh, was it? I mean,
not the crew, but the writers wanted to keep
it had to be a plot device.
Yeah.
Because like, otherwise it's like we could have saved so much money on makeup for that hand thing. Otherwise.
Yeah. But yeah, she has the whole development thing and kind of becoming human and trying to date and all that.
What's funny is that all of a sudden she was taller. Because as a Borg, she was kind of like a little short. She was shorter.
Because she didn't have heels, I think.
Yeah, she didn't have
And
heels.
she started walking around in heels.
Which was like, why?
Yeah.
None of the other female characters could do that.
She was...
Or did do that. But here's another thing. You remember how like the replicator didn't replicate uniforms? And
I don't remember that.
Because Neelix was like, well, how can I get a uniform like replicator can't make them? And it was
that
like,
was probably just something that they said to Neelix to be a dick.
yeah, probably, and also like they couldn't. But then 7 of 9 didn't have that either. So I think it was just to have, for the sake of diversity on the show, to have characters that looked different, maybe.
Well, she was also a lot of it was sex appeal.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
wanted to have a sexy woman on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. My dad was like, she's definitely a sex symbol
Yeah.
on there. But I mean, I don't think that really hurt anything.
No,
I think it was to benefit because she was a very strong, independent character.
and non-sexual, if anything.
Yeah.
She-
There was that one time that there was a sex part, and she's like, "Take off all your clothes," and it was like, "No."
Good show. And then you got Enterprise.
I didn't get much into that, but
Getting from there to here, it's been a long time, but my time is finally here. Whatever. Yeah, it
My
was,
mom and dad actually finished Enterprise.
I didn't get past season 3, but
Yeah.
like I got to the episode where they get sent to alternate reality World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Which
but-
every a lot of things do that. I remember that's a fucking Justice League thing. They go back in time to go in a certain way because time
'Cause
travelers went back in time.
Didn't the Green Lantern from the Justice League animated series, wasn't he a World War II vet?
No. He was just a Marine.
Oh.
So then when they go back in time and he gets separated from the Justice League, his ring runs out of like juice.
Mhm.
He's just he ends up with a Marine squad, like a vintage World War II Marine squad, and he's like, Like, this one guy's like, I don't know who the hell you are, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm a Marine. Like, so then he could do the tactics and stuff with them. We kind of segued there, but,
That's a good show. Justice
Yeah.
League.
Let me tell you something. I know this is a really big segue, because this is another topic that I wanted to have a whole other podcast about, was Young Justice and how good that was.
I didn't see that.
Got canceled, which was bullshit. It's another one of those bullshit shows. I think there's only 2 seasons of it, but that was like, because me and Brady have talked about this, about how DC really like doesn't have as good character development as like Marvel things do. But in recent years, they've really stepped it up, and another one of the things that really stepped it up was Young Justice. I know it's an animated show, and it's like kind of for kids, but like I can watch it as an adult and completely enjoy it. It's
Dude,
really
fucking
good.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah, Batman
It was
Beyond
really gritty.
yeah.
It was
Like-
the same way.
Definitely like a higher brow show than the time slot that Cartoon Network put it on. Like
Mhm.
I think it was on Toonami or something.
Well, Toonami
I mean, that's
sometimes
where you
had
watch
deeper
that.
shows
That's,
like
yeah,
that.
that's definitely where you watch the shows like that.
Yeah, like
That
Reboot.
aren't quite adult, but still.
Batman Beyond was on the WB first. Let's get one
Yeah.
thing straight.
Oh, was it?
And then it went to Cartoon Network, which was like now it's home. Like it's home with all the better shows on Toonami.
Yeah. Like Dragon Ball
Reboot,
Z.
I don't think Reboot was on early Toonami. That was when Toonami was on in the afternoon, and it was like one of the like shows that you could see at like 3:30.
Yeah, when I got home from school, it'd be like
Yeah.
Reboot, and then Dragon Ball Z would come on.
Did you hear that Reboot's getting a reboot?
I didn't.
Apparently, I don't know how serious it is. I don't know what's in the works, but that is news that has
Huh.
been circulating.
Well, you heard it first, probably somewhere else, so somewhere other than linear radio, but you did hear it from us. Whatever.
Shrek
I don't
will be
know
a
how-
character in Super Smash Brothers.
It's not
Yeah.
happening. Anyway,
Who cares?
It'll all be
I
over
don't want
soon.
more reboot. I'm sorry, I just didn't like reboot as
I
a
didn't
kid, as an
understand
adult.
I did, but I mean, I never was like in love with it.
Code
I didn't-
Lyoko was a good show.
Don't fucking lie to us, Brady.
Love that show.
Code
That-
Lyoko.
No.
Wait a minute, I have vague memories of that show.
Code Lyoko, there were so many shows like that where like they're kids and they go to some alternate dimension to fight evil.
Oh wait, no, I
When
do
they're
remember
not in
Code
class.
Lyoko now.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, Code Lyoko's alright.
No.
You know what I really liked? Getting back onto sci-fi?
Yeah.
Sort of?
Well, I don't think we ever branched off from sci-fi. We just kind of went off topic. 'Cause we
Yeah.
were kind of talking about
Okay, yeah, well.
sci-fi channel shows really more in this one.
Yeah, no, this has nothing to do with Sci-Fi Channel. It's literature.
Okay.
Back to literature. Animorphs? Anybody read Animorphs?
Never.
Yeah, except
I-
for my literary tastes evolve.
I never
See-
never read it. Never.
Okay, that was because when we were on the topic of endings, I kind of wanted to ask you guys your opinions on the ending of that if you had read it. But
Does everybody die?
no. Do you want me to tell
Is
you
that
the
kid
ending?
still a fucking bird? That's the thing that
All I
always really
care about
bothered me.
is that Tobias is still a badass.
Yeah, Tobias is always a bird. Okay. Spoilers from here until wherever. Yeah,
I mean,
Tobias
dude,
is a bird.
Dude, Animorphs came out when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
It's not spoilers anymore.
Okay,
you can buy
you
those
know
books
what,
from
you're
a
right.
fucking book fair.
Oh, fuck.
You remember
yeah,
that
dude.
shit? Like,
yeah, I remember books.
They're
like
rare
Scholastic
now.
would be like, huh?
I said they're rare now. They're hard
Oh, I
to
know.
find. I gotta go to garage sales to get them.
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You can't just go to Barnes & Noble? Because I'm pretty sure they have a whole section of Animorphs books at Barnes & Noble.
No, last time I checked, they were gone, and the library doesn't have them.
How's
The library-
How does the library not have it?
They have like some. They only have like some of the older ones.
There's
They
like
don't.
47 books.
Oh no, dude. They I think the last. I have the last one. It's called The Beginning.
There's 47 Animorphs books?
No, there's like I think it's 62
There's
of the ma-
62?
of the main series.
Holy
And
shit!
then there's the 4 Megamorphs. There's the Alternamorphs,
Who
which
is,
aren't
who is
canon.
this person who wrote these? David Weber? Have you ever seen a David Weber book?
No.
Go to Barnes & Noble and just go to the sci-fi section. I guarantee you there is a shelf of David Weber books. And I have never read one damn book, and I have no idea if they're the same series or not. But they're all by David Weber, and it's all like, this title, David Weber. Like, big red David Weber on it. And I'm like, who the fuck is David Weber?
gotta be good if he keeps getting these fucking contracts, man.
I guess
Holy
so. I mean,
shit.
dude, Animorphs wasn't good, was it? It doesn't hold up over time. Right?
I still go back and read it, and it's okay. You got to go into it with the mindset that you. And I know it's hard, but you have to go into it with the mindset of a preteen to teen kid, and it's a little silly at times, but it really gets like they have a lot of the books are ghostwritten, and some are bad, some are good,
Yeah.
and some they have like like how animes will have episodes that are serious and episodes that are kind
Fillers
of
and
filler
stuff.
and comic relief.
Oh yeah. There's definitely relief.
Yeah.
Relief episodes and filler, for those of you at home, are not the same. People
Yeah.
will be just like, "Oh, this is a filler episode." I'm like, "No, this is a relief episode." God damn it! Real development's still happening, but it's not. It's relief. So
And Animorphs has some books where they are sort of relief. Like they still have main plot points going, but they focus a little less. It's like less intense things going on. But then once you get towards the end of the series, where like the Yeerks find, or I don't know, Yeerks, however you pronounce it.
the worm
Yeah,
things.
Yeah, the Yeerks. They find out the identities of the Animorphs, and then they have to go into hiding, and then the Yeerks like launch a full-blown assault against humanity instead of the covert war, and everything is just going to fuck all, and they're like living out in the woods, and everyone's dying. Shit gets really real. It just they kind of like stop with the comic relief around book late 40s, early 50s. There's one fucking book where the Andalite, where Axe has like basically threatens to nuke America. Like he like wrangles his general into like calling off his troops so that the Animorphs can do. I don't remember the details, but he threatens to nuke America. He's flying a jet fighter with a nuke on board, and he's like flying over some city, and he threatens.
Man,
to
at
nuke
this
it.
point in this thing, how is turning into animals any kind of anything?
They
Yeah.
still do it, but they I guess I gotta reread the series. But like a lot of it was like for stealth and whatnot. They had different morphs for different purposes, and a lot of them were like small animals were for stealth, like flies and ants and whatnot, and the bigger morphs were for battle. And I really don't know why they wouldn't just like steal weapons, but apparently they were.
What is this, Red Dawn?
So it was basically it was Red Dawn.
I would turn into a hippopotamus and say, "Bring it on, motherfuckers."
I don't know if they ever turned into a hippo, but
Hippopotamus.
Rachel had the
most
elephant morph.
terrifying one ever.
Did
Like, the Yeerks would be like, "Let's go get that motherfucker," and I'd be like sitting in a river somewhere in Africa. I'd be like,
I'm out of range, bitch.
I'm out of range. I'm out of range.
and then they'd like come and try and get into my ears and shit, and I'd like bite them in half and kill several people in the process.
Yeah.
Because
but-
hippopotamuses are fucking evil. Anybody who
Yeah,
says
they're
otherwise-
terrifying.
If I ever saw one, I'd probably shit myself.
Did you ever see that picture of like a hippopotamus versus crocodile battle? Like a
And
crocodile, like even though hippopotamuses are like aggressive
Yeah.
towards other things, they're very like pack oriented, and crocodiles killed the hippopotamus. So like there was a battle over the body of a hippopotamus, and it was like hundreds, like 200 hippopotamuses versus a bunch of crocodiles, and it's just a picture from a helicopter or something. It's insane looking.
I really wish there were a
Jesus.
video of that, because that would be incredible to just watch a fucking war between those two. Because those are two like unbelievably powerful creatures.
Yeah.
Like a hippo bites you, it's like
Oh.
I think what's going on?
Just, it's
We're
okay.
good.
It's okay.
We're good. Okay.
It's like, do you want to install updates now? Okay. Turns off everything.
Fuck you, Windows. All right. So,
Well, I think that's probably our time marker there, right?
So what we've
40
learned
some
today,
minutes. I don't know.
Oh shit. Anyway.
what we
We
learned
can
today
go on.
is that Captain Janeway, the Animorph, turned into a hippopotamus and killed all of the bad guys.
Brady,
Should we have a whole
Brady? We should have a whole other podcast about Brady's fan fiction.
My fan fiction? You mean just the shit I come up
Yeah,
with
yeah.
randomly?
Do you have any friend fictions?
No.
Do you watch that? Do you watch that show? And
Yes.
Talking about? Okay.
Bob's
Bob's
Burgers is it. Oh my god, that's great. I love Bob's Burgers. That's one of the better shows because like every character. Oh, I guess we shouldn't start talking about it.
We can. Can we?
Let's wrap it up with it. Yeah, let's talk
Okay.
about Bob's Burgers on the end of
Yes.
this.
I was just gonna say, Bob's Burgers has a cast where every character actually contributes something, and nobody is like it portrays a dysfunctional regular American family pretty accurately. I feel.
Without negativity, without
Yeah.
negative
Yeah, like
attributes.
Bob isn't a total idiot, and
He's very patient despite how ridiculous things get.
yeah, what is his wife's name?
Linda.
Linda. Linda's not like a super.
Oh, go Tina!
Yeah, she's not like.
I'm gonna
fucking
sleep like a
crazy.
baby. Horny baby.
oh
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
she's also she's got her flaws, but she's
Yeah.
all in all like a good.
Yeah.
The kids are all good.
Louise is my favorite
Louis-
fucking character.
Louise is wonderful.
I
Yeah.
hope I have a daughter like her one day.
If I had a daughter, I'd want her to be Tina. Just weird as fuck.
I don't know how you'd handle that when she's like,
I'd probably just out her.
Oh man. Yeah, because it's like every character in there, like whenever there's a guest star that is like a main focus of a character, that like every character though that's always on has that same development and same like dynamicness within the series.
The robber.
Yeah. I'm saying like all the main characters are written like they're still those characters that come on for 1 or 2 episodes
Oh yeah.
and have like as much to contribute to the story.
Mhm.
They're not background characters like how in Family Guy a lot of the characters just seem to be background.
Brett and Archer.
Brett and Archer is a running joke as opposed to a background character.
I guess,
Except
yeah,
for
yeah.
not anymore because he's dead.
He died doing what he loved best.
Getting
Getting
shot.
I need to watch that new season of Archer.
Oh, well, there's your spoiler.
That's I
Brett
already
dies.
knew it.
Brett dies first episode, so
Like first 5 minutes.
Oh no!
well.
Yeah.
What do you got?
We'll
Anything
need
else?
we'll need a full episode for Archer, I think.
Yeah.
We'll need
I
an
think we'll
episode
probably
for Falling Skies.
this one we didn't have a particular thing picked out, so it's kind of we wanted it kind of meandered. Good luck naming the episode, Rodrigo,
Thanks.
and tagging it. Hope have fun tagging it with all this shit we talked about. All right, see you guys in the next time.
Bye. I like that.